right now a team from Aircraft Accident Investigation Bureau arrived over here. They are investigating the case. They are taking samples from the accident spot. They are visiting the exact accident spot where the aircraft had crashed last night, and the members of the Aircraft Accident Investigation Bureau are taking photographs, still photographs, including video photographs of the entire scene where the part of the engines, where the part of the aircraft has fallen over here. You can see a small part of the engine of that aircraft has fallen over here, and just a few meters away, the propeller of that particular aircraft also can be seen over here. But team is also searching for the black box of that particular aircraft, which will play a crucial role into this investigation, which will help the team to ascertain the exact cause of the accident. रात में जो एक्सीडेंट हुई थी ना, आपको आवाज मिला था क्या? आवाज सुने थे आप?
हाँ, आवाज तो मिली थी। हम लोग 7:30 बजे जमात खड़ा होती है, तो उसी टाइम हम लोग वजू बना के नमाज पढ़ने जा रहे थे। तो तरावी पढ़ के हम लोग को 9:30 बजे निकल जाते हैं। उसको बाद आए तो और आदमी बोल रहे थे कि मतलब घूमते हुए गिरा, तो यहाँ पे आए उन लोग तो देखा मतलब पंखा रहता है ना,
आवाज आप लोगों को पहले मिला?
हाँ, आवाज पहले ही मिली थी।
हाँ,
पता तो 2 घंटा बाद ही चला। अच्छा। बहुत खोजना पड़ा जंगल में।
अच्छा।
हाँ, काफी घना जंगल है, देख ही रहे आप लोग।
फिर आप लोग आने के बाद क्या देखने को मिला?
हम लोग को मिला भाई, सबसे पहले पंखा मिला, उसके बाद उधर गए तो पूरा मिला, जहाज ही मिल गया,
पूरा जहाज मिल गया।
Let's go across to my colleague Rajesh, who's joining us from Chatra at the crash site. Shefali is also joining us from the national capital. Rajesh, coming to you first, what exactly have the investigators been able to find out? I believe they're at the spot. What all have they recovered? And any clues as to what really has gone wrong? Any preliminary findings that they're able to share, Rajesh?
Exactly, team members of Aircraft Investigation Bureau have already visited the accident spot. Right now, we are present at the crash site. You can see the propeller of the particular crashed aircraft is still can be seen over here, and the team members of the AIB have visited the place of occurrence, and they have collected samples from here. They have taken visuals and taken pictures from the crash site, and they have collected all those samples which will be sent to the laboratory for further examination. But till now, they're suspecting that bad weather appears to have caused this accident. They're suspecting that this aircraft has crashed due to the bad weather only, because a thunderstorm was happening at the time of when the aircraft has crashed last night. So they're suspecting, but the final report will be submitted after completion of the investigation. They have initiated the investigation.
Well, a preliminary report is expected within the month. The final report, of course, in some cases it's supposed to be 1 year as per ICAO guidelines, but in some cases has taken over 2 years, and yet AIB has not been able to do so. So there are serious questions of our overall safety environment. One, of course, is DGCA, the regulator, and second is the AIB that's been supposed to file its reports on time. It hasn't been doing so in several such cases. Stay with us, Rajesh, because there's another shocking incident that has happened, and this is a SpiceJet Boeing 737 which returned to Delhi within an hour of taking off for Leh after reportedly suffering an engine failure. There were around 150 people on board this aircraft, and according to a SpiceJet spokesperson, the pilot initiated a mayday call shortly after the technical snag was detected. There was third, a helicopter operated by Pawan Hans, which crash landed into the sea near Mayabunder in the Andaman and Nicobar Islands, triggering a swift rescue operation in which all 7 people on board were safely evacuated. At approximately 9:30 a.m., the aircraft experienced a technical snag and was forced to make an emergency landing in the sea near Mayabunder. Viewers, these 3 incidents in just one day raise serious questions about the operational safety and preparedness as far as our aviation sector is concerned. The big question is, who's going to fix this safety crisis in our skies? Let's quickly take this across to my colleague Shefali. Shefali, I believe the government is having an emergency meeting. I believe the minister is meeting with top officials of the DGCA and other ministry officials as well. Take us through what exactly is happening at the moment, because this is a crisis that many say that shows that our regulator, which is in the first place, does not have the adequate staff, and B, there are serious questions about how our safety environment is functioning. There are some very tough questions that the ministry also has to answer and account for.
Right, Madhav. Currently, around 5:30 p.m. today, a meeting, high-level meeting, has been started where Ram Mohan Naidu will be present, Secretary Mocha, Samir Sinha, DGCA, DG, Faiz Ahmed Kidwai, and other officials are present in the meeting, where all these incidents will be discussed and a solution will be found, if not, or just not solution, what went wrong, what was the root cause, and all these, how the investigation is going, all these factors will be looked into. And if we talk about SpiceJet incident, let me tell you, Madhav, as per our sources, we are learning that Mayday call was made in the SpiceJet incident when the flight departed from Delhi to Leh, and within few minutes it came back to Delhi. We have run the visuals as well. Time now had the access of the visuals, where we have seen the spark from one of its engine coming out. It must be very tragic also, and very traumatic for the passengers. They must be scared of what has happened suddenly. Mayday call was made by the pilot.
That's
to the
a very,
ATC.
very scary image. Certainly, if you're on board a plane and you see an engine flaming out, that's an extremely scary thought. You know, what would have been going on in the passenger's mind, one can only imagine, Shefali, as you're rightly telling our viewers. But Rajesh and Shefali, stay with us because we have some more breaking inputs coming in. In fact, Times Now has confronted the staff of Redbird. We are talking to the employees and asking them about the safety conditions that existed within the airline. Take a look at this sequence coming in from Redbird's office in the national capital.
भैया यहाँ पे कोई बात करने के लिए मिलेगा क्या? कोई नहीं है। सो हम लोग को कैसे पता चलेगा आप क्या? बंदा नहीं है तो स्टेटमेंट एनी स्टेटमेंट जो आप लोग दे पाए यहाँ की तरफ से? मेरे को तो पता नहीं, मैं तो अच्छा। और अक्षय कहाँ है? पता नहीं क्या। उनका भी नहीं पता है। कोई ऑफिशियल से आए थे एयरपोर्ट इन्वेस्टिगेशन से? पता नहीं सर मुझे। So certainly the staffs are here, but no one who is authorized to talk about what happened, how these investigations are going on. Ma'am, any statement कोई देने के लिए बोला आप लोगों को? No. So the staff is certainly not allowed.
Let's take this across to our guest. Joining us at the moment, we are Captain C.S. Randhawa, President of the Federation of Indian Pilots. Also with us on the show is Nikhil Palli, who's an aviation lawyer. Dr. Sumit Sushilan is a member of the Ministry of Civil Aviation's AAC and Chairman of Divine Air. I'd like to thank all of you for joining us. And let me begin with you. Captain Randhawa, the question that is on many people's minds is that we know what happened a month ago. Let's assume that, what happened as far as Baramati was a one-off, an exception. But now, a little over a month later, you have 3 incidents within the span of 24 hours and 3 serious incidents. A crash has taken place of that air ambulance. A crash has taken place in the ambulance C of a chopper. And a SpiceJet aircraft that has had to have this, sudden turnaround. What is one to make of this? Captain Randhawa?
Madhav, as you rightly said, there have been spate of incidents and accidents, right, starting from 12th of June last year. Now, this is very clear that there is poor oversight by the DGCA over the operators, and the internal safety departments of the operators are not functioning optimally because there are have been found to have maintenance lapses, operational lapses. And if you see the number of accidents which are taking place at this rate, I think when we are going to expand aviation in this country and having a poor oversight and all the SOPs in place, I think we are heading for a disaster. Secondly, AIB, it's another joke because the AIB has failed to comply with the international guidelines as far as the time frames go. They have no clue, like the VSR Ventures aircraft, the first one which crashed in Mumbai, till today there is no final report. They are only 5 people in the AIB, out of which 3 are from DGCA. They don't even have an independent body. Thirdly, they do not have the expertise and the wherewithal to handle so many accidents and incidents at a time. They are highly understaffed and they do not have the capability.
Okay.
So the whole system itself, if you see in the country, in the aviation, is lacking behind, and lacking behind drastically. So until and unless we are able to plug in all these loopholes, we are asking for disasters.
Let me bring in the other panelists as well. Dr. Sumit Sushilan, at the end of the day, a question that many will be asking. Sanjay Lazar is also joining us, and he is, of course, aviation expert and CEO of Avialaz Consultants. Let me quickly take this question to Dr. Sushilan, though. Dr. Sushilan, somewhere or the other, now there is a panic reaction. There is a ministry taking place at Rajiv Gandhi, ministry meeting taking place at Rajiv Gandhi Bhavan. The point is, what about preparedness? What about systems and procedure? How is it acceptable? We are supposed to have one of the safest aviation track records until now. But with these incidents being reported, surely it is going to raise some serious alarm as to what is happening as far as the entire, aviation safety oversight is concerned. DGCA is one thing, even AIB and its reports. After all that outcry, we still don't know what has happened, where the final report in that VFR Airlines is as far as the crash that took place 2.5 years ago.
Today also we had multiple meetings. At 3 p.m. also there was all non-scheduled operators meeting was called by the DGCA, and ministry is keeping a close eye. And regarding the safety, nothing has changed from earlier. The regular audits was going on, and as you said, there was a shortage of staff in AIB. The AIB is always operated in the similar way. We had never, changed. There was no shortage of pilot or AIB DGs and all. So regular things are going on. Definitely, this is something like
vacancies in both DGCA and AIB are extremely high. They're about to the tune of roughly 30%, if I'm not mistaken. And who's going to account for that? At least the ministry can ensure that there is enough staff.
No, definitely. For past a year, definitely.
Mr. Sushilan? Who's supposed to ensure the staffing of the DGC of the AIB? Does the ministry not have control over that?
See, the recruitment, definitely the recruitment is on progress. Every month we have recruitment going on. Definitely we are overcome the last, if you see the last time when we had given the numbers, there are a lot of recruitment that happened, and all the people are, taking up the positions. So I think, within a year time, I think the entire vacancy which is vacant.
So till 1 year, we have to brace ourselves each time we fly. Sanjay Lazar, is that an acceptable line of argument that a lot of recruitment has happened? If I'm not mistaken, it's about 30% is a shortfall. Can we have this kind of an approach? It's no surprise then that we are seeing incident after incident happening like this.
Good evening, Madhav. Thank you for having me on your show. 42% is the RTI reply. That is the average shortage as of yesterday. And Mr. Rohit Pawar has also filed one, and I've got this information. It is a pathetic state. I'm extremely sorry. Our entire aviation mechanism is in a mess. We should have restructured a long time ago. I've been saying this for over a year. We need a CAA type of structure. We need more recruitment in the DGCA, in the AIB. You're right, Madhav, when you pointed out, Captain Randhawa also pointed out, that the VSR report of, Mumbai incident is still not out. And now we've lost Ajit Dada Pawar last month. This is actually terrible to watch 3 incidents in 24 hours. Not to say that if we had more staff, these incidents wouldn't take place. But how many audits have been completed? The DGCA should come clean. What percentage of NSOP audits have been completed? What is the status? Let them come clean. Let the ministry give a statement that out of 100 NSOPs or 20 NSOPs, all have been audited in the last 3 months or 6 months. Let us have a status report of the aviation industry. We need huge oversight here. We are growing. I'm at an aviation conference at the Taj right now, and let me tell you, this is the concern most foreign investors have in this country. Lessors, investors, aviation, and the minister is attending here as well tomorrow. This is a big, big concern. What is going wrong with our system? We have operated at a smaller scale. We are now growing in leaps and bounds. And my worry is that if tomorrow we go to 300 airports and 3,000 aircraft that they talk about in the next 5 years, we're going to be woefully inadequate.
Absolutely.
So, it's time we need to do something.
High time. We need a huge, huge investment of time, of personnel, of qualified personnel at that, and perhaps need to change structures as well. We don't have any clear solutions. It's for the government to decide what it is, but this is certainly not acceptable. There's a reaction now coming in from Civil Aviation Minister Ram Mohan Naidu. I'm going to read it out. He says, deeply pained by the tragic air ambulance crash in Jharkhand. Loss of precious lives is heartbreaking. My condolences to the affected families in this moment of grief. Local administration AIB teams have immediately responded for rescue and on-site investigations. Let's quickly take this across to our other guest joining us at this point of time. We have Mr. Nikhil Palli, who's an aviation lawyer. Nikhil Palli, the reaction of the minister to the crash that happened last night at around 8 p.m. is coming about 20 hours later or 22 hours later. Surely one would expect a little more alacrity when 7 lives have been lost, sir.
Well, I don't know the reason behind it. Maybe he wanted to get into further details before coming out with the statement, so I will not comment. Of course, being the minister...
20 hours? 20 hours it takes to get details?
I'm saying, of course, being the minister, it is his responsibility to come out earlier, but there might have been certain things going behind the background. I am not privy to it, neither of any of us right now. The question, what I want to say, what I want to come down right now is, India has had till about 18 months ago, our safety record was decently good. There were no such complaints. What has happened? Have the laws been let down? My biggest fear goes towards the American way, in which self-certification was allowed, which led to the Boeing, the MAX issues, in which Boeing themselves certified certain of their products. My question over here is has there been any change? Because the number of incidents we've seen off late, it cannot be passed off as we keep on saying that it's the safest form of transportation, but we cannot let it rest so much.
Sanjay Lazar wants to respond to you. Sanjay Lazar.
Madhav, I want to point out something. Sorry. In the last 5 years, and this is also an RTI report, Tehseen Poonawalla filed it, 50 incidents, 320 deaths. Aircraft incidents, 5 years. This is a DGCA RTI. So I'd like to correct that view that nothing happened in the last 18 months. I'm sorry, it has happened. We may not see it, it may not all be 171, and we pray that it never happens again. But we've had 50 incidents like this in the last 5 years with 321 dead.
Nikhil Palli, is this an acceptable figure to you?
Not at all, and neither did for a second I condone that. What I said is very clear. As unfortunate as it is, and as sad as it is, unfortunately, a huge number of those poor souls lost were in 2 major incidents. I am not condoning that. It is very sad. I stick my neck out and say that the minister should have come out earlier, but I don't know why it is taken in 20 years. Maybe he had to go through some certain facts and documentation which are privy to them, which are not privy to me. That is all I'm saying. I'm not here to defend the government, but I'm just giving you a practicality. It is very sad, every life which has been lost. In fact, I further go on to say that this needs to be taken care of, because it is not just limited to civil aviation. We had the Tejas incident, which is happening. They had to come out and give a statement. So it's spread across.
Look, the Tejas incident is shocking, and certainly no one as an Indian is proud of it. It is HAL, which is a government enterprise at the end of the day. But we're talking about civil aviation. We're talking about the lives of you, me, all our viewers who catch a flight and are told that this is the safest mode of transportation. This is just not acceptable. And Captain Randhawa, how long can we, see these incidents happening? Is this really something that is tenable? Where and how should accountability being fixed? Because, when we have incidents like the Indigo crisis or the Air India crash, it is someone like the IOCC chief who is made to step down. And that's it. No one from the government is made to account.
I'm sorry to say, Madhav, that even, after the Air India accident, they gave a clean sheet to all the Boeing company, Boeing, Honeywell, and GE. After that, we had the Indigo crisis. There are not much actions taken by the government of India. The minister on the state of the floor of Lok Sabha said very strict action will be taken against Indigo. Strict action is mere warnings and 22 crores of fine. Okay, what kind of atmosphere we're living? We are, until and unless we have a strong oversight program on the operators, we do not have good qualified staff in DGCA. I have been a part of that, and I have seen the deterioration in the.
Let me get a quick response, because we are totally out of time. But Sumit Sushil, would you like to respond to that? No accountability is fixed. Just some fines will be imposed. Where is the accountability?
When Mr. Randhawa said there was no, definitely. See, basically the fine itself was so big, 22 crore plus 50 crore bank guarantee which they had paid. Okay, we are making sure that next time this type of incident will never happen. And
what
when
is
it comes to the safety standards,
well, next time after Air India crash, after Indigo crisis, Baramati crash, now 3 crashes. This next time is proving to be costly for the lives of Indian citizens. And that is why this is extremely disturbing, Dr. Sumit Sushilan. This next time mentality and just letting things go as usual with a few fines is not acceptable to Indian citizens. Those who are watching this show, Those who are seeing what is happening will not find this to be an acceptable solution. That is all I will say at the moment. And let me leave it there. Captain Randhawa, Sanjay Lazar, Nikhil Pali, and Dr. Sumit Sushilan, thanks so much for joining us this evening.